The Alchemy of Failure, Turning Setbacks into Superpowers. Chapter 1. The Failure Myth, Debunking Common Misconceptions. We live in a culture obsessed with success. From social media highlight reels to the carefully curated narratives of entrepreneurs, we're constantly bombarded with images of flawless ascents to the top. Failure, on the other hand, is often relegated to the shadows, whispered about in hushed tones, or worse, treated as a scarlet letter. This pervasive stigma creates a distorted view of reality, one that not only discourages risk-taking, but also prevents us from harnessing the immense power of setbacks. The truth is, failure is not the opposite of success. It's a stepping stone, an integral part of the journey. This chapter aims to dismantle the myths surrounding failure and reveal its true nature as a catalyst for growth, innovation, and ultimately, success. One of the most damaging myths is that failure is a sign of weakness or inadequacy. We're taught from a young age to strive for perfection, to avoid mistakes at all costs. This creates a fear of failure so profound that it can paralyze us, preventing us from even trying. But think about it. Have you ever learned to ride a bicycle without falling a few times? Has any great artist created a masterpiece without countless sketches and discarded canvases? The answer, of course, is no. Failure is an inherent part of the learning process. It's the feedback mechanism that tells us what's not working and guides us toward a better path. Another common misconception is that failure is reserved for the less talented or the less fortunate. We often look at successful individuals and assume that their journey was smooth, devoid of bumps and bruises. But this is rarely the case. Behind every celebrated achievement, there are likely countless failures, rejections, and setbacks. Consider the story of J.K. Rowling, author of the Harry Potter series. Before her books became a global phenomenon, she faced numerous rejections from publishers, living on welfare and struggling to make ends meet. Imagine if she had allowed those initial failures to define her. The world would have been deprived of the magic of Hogwarts. The truth is, failure is an equal opportunity experience. It doesn't discriminate based on talent, background, or social status. Even the most successful people, from entrepreneurs like Elon Musk to athletes like Michael Jordan, have faced significant failures throughout their careers. Michael Jordan, widely considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was cut from his high school basketball team. He later stated, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've failed over and over and over again in my life, and that is why I succeed." His failures, rather than deterring him, fueled his determination and ultimately propelled him to greatness. Failure is not an event, it's a process. It's not a final destination, but a detour on the road to success. It's a chance to learn, adapt, and emerge stronger than before. The key is not to avoid failure altogether, but to embrace it, to understand its lessons, and to use it as a springboard for growth. In the following chapters, we will explore the different types of failure, delve into the psychology of fear, and most importantly, discover how to transform setbacks into superpowers. We will learn how to reframe our relationship with failure, not as something to be feared, but as a valuable tool for achieving our dreams. Chapter 2. The Anatomy of a Setback. Understanding your failure modes. Failure isn't a monolithic entity. It comes in various shapes and sizes, each with its own unique characteristics and impact. Just as a doctor needs to understand the specific nature of an illness to treat it effectively, we need to understand the anatomy of our setbacks to learn from them and move forward. This chapter will dissect the different types of failure, exploring their emotional and psychological impact, and introduce the concept of failure modes, recurring patterns in our setbacks, to help you identify and address the root causes of your struggles. Failures can be broadly categorized in several ways. One common distinction is between personal failures and professional failures. Personal failures might involve relationship breakdowns, unmet personal goals, or lapses in judgment. Professional failures could include job loss, business setbacks, or missed opportunities. While the context differs, the emotional fallout can be equally significant. Another way to categorize failures is by their scope. Some failures are relatively small and localized, like missing a deadline or making a minor mistake. Others are more significant and far-reaching, impacting multiple areas of our lives. A business failure, for example, might lead to financial strain, relationship difficulties, and a loss of self-esteem. We can also classify failures based on their cause. Some failures are due to external factors beyond our control, such as a sudden economic downturn or an unexpected illness. Others are the result of our own actions or inactions, such as poor planning, lack of effort, or flawed decision-making. While it's important to acknowledge external factors, focusing on what we can control is crucial for learning and growth. Beyond these broad categories, it's essential to understand the emotional and psychological impact of failure. Failure can trigger a range of negative emotions, including disappointment, anger, shame, guilt, and fear. It can also lead to feelings of inadequacy, self-doubt, and a loss of confidence. These emotional responses are perfectly normal, but it's important to manage them constructively to avoid getting stuck in a cycle of negativity. Now, let's introduce the concept of failure modes. These are recurring patterns in our failures, underlying causes that contribute to multiple setbacks. Identifying your failure modes is like uncovering the hidden architecture of your struggles. Do you tend to procrastinate, leading to rushed work and missed deadlines? Are you overly critical of yourself, hindering your ability to take risks and learn from mistakes? Do you struggle with communication, leading to misunderstandings and conflict? Identifying your failure modes requires honest self-reflection and a willingness to examine your past experiences. Ask yourself, what are some common themes in my failures? What are the underlying causes of these setbacks? What are my typical emotional responses to failure? What patterns do I notice in my decision-making process? Tools like the 5 whys can be helpful in this process. This technique involves asking why repeatedly to drill down to the root cause of a problem. For example, if you missed a deadline, you might ask, why did I miss a deadline? Because I underestimated the time required. Why did I underestimate the time required? Because I didn't plan effectively. Why didn't I plan effectively? Because I was procrastinating. By continuing to ask why, you can uncover the deeper reasons behind your actions. Another useful tool is the fishbone diagram, also known as an Ishikawa diagram, which helps visualize the potential causes of a problem. This diagram looks like a fish skeleton, with the problem at the head of the fish and various categories of potential causes branching out like bones. These categories might include people, processes, equipment, materials, environment, and management. By brainstorming potential causes within each category, you can gain a more comprehensive understanding of the factors contributing to your failures. Understanding the anatomy of your setbacks and identifying your failure modes is the first step toward transforming failure into a superpower. It allows you to move beyond simply reacting to setbacks and start proactively addressing the underlying issues that are holding you back. In the following chapters, we will explore how to analyze your failures constructively, develop emotional resilience, and ultimately, use your setbacks as fuel for growth and success. Chapter 3. The Fear Factor. Why we avoid failure and why we shouldn't. Fear. It's a primal emotion, deeply ingrained in our DNA. It's the alarm bell that rings when we perceive a threat, a signal designed to protect us from harm. And when it comes to failure, that alarm bell often blares deafeningly. We fear the judgment of others, the sting of disappointment, the potential consequences of our mistakes. But while fear can be a powerful motivator, it can also be a crippling force, preventing us from taking risks, pursuing our dreams, and ultimately, reaching our full potential. This chapter will delve into the psychology of fear, exploring its evolutionary roots and examining why we so desperately try to avoid failure, and more importantly, why we shouldn't. From an evolutionary perspective, fear is a survival mechanism. Our ancestors who were more cautious, who avoided potentially dangerous situations, were more likely to survive and pass on their genes. This explains why we have an innate tendency to avoid pain, discomfort, and anything that threatens our sense of security. Failure, in this context, can be perceived as a threat to our social standing, our self-esteem, and even our sense of identity. The fear of failure is often intertwined with other fears, such as the fear of rejection, the fear of inadequacy, and the fear of the unknown. We worry about what others will think of us if we fail. We question our abilities and doubt whether we have what it takes to succeed. We're afraid of stepping into uncharted territory, where the outcome is uncertain and the possibility of failure looms large. But here's the crucial point. While fear can keep us safe from immediate physical danger, it can also hold us back from achieving our goals and living a fulfilling life. The fear of failure can lead to procrastination, risk aversion, and a general reluctance to step outside our comfort zones. We play it safe, sticking to what we know, avoiding any situation where we might make a mistake. In doing so, we limit our opportunities for growth, learning, and self-discovery. Think about a time when you were held back by fear. Perhaps you didn't apply for a job you really wanted because you were afraid of being rejected. Maybe you didn't start that business you dreamed of because you were afraid of failing. Or perhaps you didn't speak up in a meeting because you were afraid of being wrong. Reflecting on these experiences can help you understand the power that fear can have over our decisions. The good news is that fear is not insurmountable. We can learn to manage our fear, to acknowledge its presence without letting it dictate our actions. One of the first steps is to recognize that fear is a normal human emotion. It's not a sign of weakness or a character flaw. Everyone experiences fear, even the most successful people. The difference is that they don't let fear paralyze them. Another important strategy is to challenge your negative thoughts. When you start to feel fear creeping in, ask yourself, is this fear realistic? What's the worst that could happen? What's the best that could happen? Often, our fears are based on exaggerated or irrational beliefs. By questioning these beliefs, we can reduce the intensity of our fear. It's also helpful to focus on the potential benefits of taking a risk, rather than dwelling on the potential consequences of failure. What could you gain if you overcame your fear and pursued your goal? What new skills could you develop? What opportunities could open up? By shifting your focus to the positive, you can increase your motivation and make it easier to overcome your fear. Finally, remember that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the willingness to act in spite of fear. It's about acknowledging your fear, understanding its source, and then choosing to move forward anyway. Every time you face your fear, you become a little bit stronger, a little bit more resilient. And with each step you take, you move closer to unlocking your full potential and achieving your dreams. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to reframe your relationship with failure, viewing it not as a threat, but as a valuable learning opportunity. Chapter 4. Reframing Failure. Shifting from stigma to stepping stone. We've explored the myths surrounding failure and the fear that often accompanies it. Now, it's time to shift our perspective, to fundamentally change how we view setbacks. This chapter is about reframing failure, moving away from the traditional stigma and embracing it as a valuable learning opportunity. It's about understanding that failure is not a reflection of your worth as a person, but rather a stepping stone on the path to growth and success. This shift in mindset is crucial, and it begins with understanding the power of a growth mindset. For many years, psychologists believed that intelligence and abilities were fixed traits, that we were born with a certain level of talent, and that was pretty much it. This is known as a fixed mindset. People with a fixed mindset tend to avoid challenges because they fear failure will expose their perceived lack of ability. They see effort as fruitless, believing that if they were truly talented, they wouldn't have to work so hard. They often feel threatened by the success of others, seeing it as a reflection of their own inadequacy. In contrast, people with a growth mindset, popularized by Carol Dweck, believe that abilities and intelligence can be developed through dedication and hard work. They embrace challenges, seeing them as opportunities to learn and grow. They view effort as the path to mastery, understanding that even the most talented individuals have to put in the work to achieve their goals. They are inspired by the success of others, seeing it as evidence that hard work and perseverance can pay off. And perhaps most importantly, they view failure not as a sign of defeat, but as a valuable source of feedback and a chance to learn and improve. The difference between these two mindsets is profound. Someone with a fixed mindset might see a failed project as proof that they're not good enough, leading to feelings of shame and discouragement. They might be tempted to give up altogether, believing that they'll never be successful. On the other hand, someone with a growth mindset would see the same failed project as an opportunity to learn what went wrong and how to do better next time. They would analyze the setback, extract the lessons, and use that knowledge to refine their approach. Reframing failure is about adopting this growth mindset. It's about recognizing that setbacks are not personal attacks, but rather valuable pieces of information. They tell us what's not working, where we need to improve, and what adjustments we need to make. They give us a chance to experiment, to try different approaches, and to discover what works best for us. Think about a time when you learned a valuable lesson from a mistake. Perhaps you made a wrong decision at work, but that experience taught you how to approach similar situations in the future. Maybe you struggled with a particular skill, but through practice and perseverance, you eventually mastered it. These experiences demonstrate the power of learning from failure and the importance of a growth mindset. Reframing failure also involves changing the language we use to talk about it. Instead of saying "I failed," try saying "I learned." Instead of beating yourself up over a mistake, ask yourself, "What can I learn from this experience?" By changing your language, you can change your perspective and start to see failure in a more positive light. It's important to remember that developing a growth mindset is not an overnight process. It takes time, effort, and conscious practice. You may find yourself slipping back into old patterns of thinking from time to time, but with consistent effort, you can gradually shift your mindset and begin to see failure as a stepping stone on your path to success. In the next chapter, we'll delve into the practical steps of analyzing your failures constructively, turning them into valuable learning experiences. Chapter 5, The Post-Mortem, Conducting a Failure Analysis. You've stumbled, you've fallen, you've maybe even face-planted. It's happened. Now what? The natural instinct might be to brush it off, pretend it didn't happen, or wallow in self-pity. But the true power of failure lies not in the fall itself, but in the analysis that follows. This chapter will equip you with a step-by-step guide to conducting a post-mortem on your failures, transforming them from painful experiences into valuable learning opportunities. This isn't about dwelling on the negative. It's about extracting the gold from the dross, turning setbacks into fuel for future success. A failure post-mortem is a structured process of analyzing a setback to understand what went wrong, why it went wrong, and what lessons can be learned. It's like a detective investigating a crime scene, meticulously examining the evidence to uncover the truth. The goal is not to assign blame, but to gain insights that will help you avoid similar mistakes in the future. Step 1. Acknowledge and accept. The first step is often the hardest. It requires acknowledging that a failure has occurred and accepting responsibility for your part in it. This doesn't mean beating yourself up or dwelling on the negative. It simply means recognizing the reality of the situation and being willing to learn from it. Avoid making excuses or blaming others. Focus on what you can control, your own actions and your own learning. Step 2. Gather the facts. Just like a detective gathers evidence, you need to gather all the relevant information about the failure. What happened? When did it happen? Who was involved? What were the circumstances leading up to the setback? Be as specific and objective as possible. Write it down. Create a timeline of events if necessary. Step 3. Identify the root causes. This is where the 5 whys and fishbone diagram we discussed in Chapter 2 become invaluable. Don't just scratch the surface. Dig deep to uncover the underlying causes of the failure. Ask why repeatedly until you get to the root of the problem. For example, if you missed a deadline, you might ask, Why did I miss the deadline? Because I underestimated the time required. Why did I underestimate the time required? Because I didn't plan effectively. Why didn't I plan effectively? Because I was procrastinating. Keep asking why until you uncover the core issues. The fishbone diagram can help you categorize these causes, people, process, environment, etc., for a more holistic view. Step 4. Analyze the patterns. Once you've identified the root causes, look for patterns. Are there any recurring themes in your failures? Do you tend to make the same mistakes over and over again? Identifying these patterns can help you understand your failure modes and address them more effectively. Step 5. Extract the lessons. This is the most crucial step. What did you learn from this experience? What would you do differently next time? What insights did you gain about yourself, your skills, or your approach? Write down your lessons learned. Be specific and actionable. Step 6. Develop an action plan. Learning is only valuable if it leads to action. Based on the lessons you've learned, create a concrete action plan for moving forward. What steps will you take to avoid similar mistakes in the future? How will you apply your new knowledge and insights? Make your action plan specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time-bound smart. Step 7. Implement and review. Put your action plan into practice and monitor your progress. Regularly review your plan and make adjustments as needed. The failure post-mortem is not a one-time event. It's an ongoing process of learning and improvement. By consistently conducting failure post-mortems, you can transform your setbacks into valuable learning experiences. You can identify your weaknesses, develop your strengths, and ultimately, turn failure into a powerful catalyst for growth and success. It's not about avoiding failure altogether. It's about becoming a master of your own setbacks, using them as stepping stones on your journey to achieving your goals. Chapter 6. Emotional Resilience. Bouncing back from setbacks. Failure, even when viewed through the lens of a growth mindset, can sting. Disappointment, frustration, anger, shame. These are all natural emotional responses to setbacks. Ignoring these emotions or trying to suppress them is not only unhealthy, but it also hinders our ability to learn and grow. This chapter explores the crucial role of emotional resilience in navigating failure. It's about developing the capacity to bounce back from setbacks, to manage the inevitable negative emotions, and to emerge stronger and more resilient than before. Emotional resilience isn't about being emotionless or pretending that failure doesn't hurt. It's about developing the skills to recognize, understand, and manage your emotions in a healthy way. It's about acknowledging the pain, processing it, and then choosing to move forward. Think of a willow tree in a strong wind. It bends and sways, but it doesn't break. Emotional resilience is like that willow tree, allowing you to weather the storms of life without being uprooted. One of the key components of emotional resilience is emotional intelligence. This involves being aware of your own emotions, as well as the emotions of others. It's about understanding how your emotions impact your thoughts and behaviors, and how to manage those emotions effectively. Emotional intelligence is not an innate talent. It's a skill that can be developed over time. Here are some strategies for building emotional resilience. Mindfulness. Practicing mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment without judgment. It's about observing your thoughts and feelings without getting carried away by them. Mindfulness can help you become more aware of your emotional responses to failure, allowing you to manage them more effectively. Even a few minutes of daily meditation can make a significant difference. Self-compassion. Often, we are our harshest critics. We beat ourselves up over our failures, amplifying the negative emotions. Self-compassion involves treating yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer a friend who is struggling. It's about recognizing that everyone makes mistakes, that failure is a part of the human experience. Instead of berating yourself, try offering yourself words of encouragement and support. Positive self-talk. The way we talk to ourselves can have a profound impact on our emotions and our behavior. Negative self-talk can reinforce feelings of inadequacy and self-doubt. Positive self-talk, on the other hand, can boost your confidence and resilience. Challenge your negative thoughts and replace them with more positive and realistic ones. For example, instead of saying, "I'm a failure," try saying, "I learned from this experience and I will do better next time." Acceptance. Accepting failure doesn't mean condoning it or pretending it doesn't matter. It means acknowledging that it happened and choosing to focus on what you can control. Your response to the setback. Acceptance allows you to let go of the past and move forward with a more positive and productive mindset. Seek support. Don't be afraid to reach out to others for support. Talk to a friend, family member, mentor, or therapist about how you're feeling. Sharing your struggles can help you process your emotions and gain valuable perspective. Remember, you are not alone. Practice gratitude. Even in the face of failure, there are often things to be grateful for. Focusing on the positive aspects of your life can help you maintain perspective and boost your emotional resilience. Try keeping a gratitude journal, writing down a few things you're grateful for each day. Learn from the experience. As we discussed in the previous chapter, analyzing your failures is crucial for growth. Don't dwell on the negative emotions, but rather use them as motivation to learn and improve. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this setback to my advantage? Building emotional resilience is a lifelong journey. It requires consistent effort and practice, but the rewards are immeasurable. By developing the ability to manage your emotions effectively, you can navigate the inevitable ups and downs of life with greater ease and emerge from setbacks stronger, wiser, and more resilient than ever before. Chapter 7. Learning and Adapting. Extracting Wisdom from Experience. We've explored the nature of failure, the fear it evokes, and the importance of emotional resilience. But all of this is for naught if we don't actively learn from our experiences. Failure is only valuable if it translates into wisdom, informing our future actions and guiding us toward success. This chapter focuses on the crucial link between failure and learning, emphasizing the importance of adapting and iterating to extract the maximum wisdom from every setback. Learning from failure is not a passive process. It requires conscious effort, a willingness to examine our mistakes, and a commitment to making changes. It's about developing a mindset of continuous improvement, recognizing that every setback, no matter how painful, offers an opportunity to grow and evolve. One of the most effective approaches to learning from failure is iterative learning. This involves a cycle of experimentation, feedback, and refinement. You try something, you get feedback, which may include failure. You analyze the feedback, and then you adjust your approach. This process is repeated over and over again, leading to gradual but significant improvement. Think of a scientist conducting an experiment. They formulate a hypothesis, design an experiment to test it, and then analyze the results. If the results don't support their hypothesis, they don't give up. They revise their hypothesis and try again. This iterative process is at the heart of scientific discovery, and it's equally applicable to personal and professional growth. Iterative learning is about embracing the idea that failure is a natural part of the process. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but rather a valuable source of information. Each failure provides insights into what's not working, allowing you to refine your approach and move closer to your goal. Here are some strategies for maximizing learning from your experiences. Be curious. Approach your failures with curiosity rather than judgment. Ask yourself, what happened? Why did it happen? What can I learn from this? Curiosity fuels the learning process, encouraging you to explore different possibilities and discover new insights. Seek feedback. Don't be afraid to ask others for feedback on your performance. Constructive criticism can be invaluable in identifying blind spots and areas for improvement. Be open to hearing feedback, even if it's not what you want to hear. Experiment and iterate. Don't be afraid to try new things and experiment with different approaches. The more you experiment, the more you learn. Embrace the idea that failure is a part of the experimentation process. Each setback provides valuable data that you can use to refine your approach. Document your learnings. Keep a journal or notebook where you can document your failures and the lessons you've learned from them. This will help you track your progress and ensure that you don't repeat the same mistakes. Share your learnings. Sharing your experiences with others can be a powerful way to reinforce your own learning and help others avoid similar pitfalls. Consider mentoring someone or writing about your experiences. Embrace discomfort. Learning often involves stepping outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to take risks and try new things, even if they make you feel uncomfortable. Growth happens outside of your comfort zone. Be patient. Learning is a gradual process. Don't expect to see results overnight. Be patient with yourself and celebrate small victories along the way. Learning and adapting are essential skills for navigating the challenges of life and achieving your goals. By embracing failure as a learning opportunity and adopting an iterative approach, you can transform setbacks into stepping stones on your path to success. In the next chapter, we'll explore how to cultivate grit, the perseverance and resilience needed to keep going even in the face of adversity. Chapter 8. Building Grit. Cultivating perseverance and resilience. Learning from failure is essential, but it's not enough. The road to success is often long and arduous, filled with obstacles and setbacks. To navigate this challenging terrain, you need something more. You need grit. This chapter delves into the concept of grit, exploring its key components and providing practical strategies for cultivating this essential quality. Grit is the fuel that keeps you going when the going gets tough, the unwavering determination that allows you to persevere in the face of adversity. Grit is often defined as passion and perseverance for long-term goals. It's about having a deep commitment to something that matters to you and then sticking with it, even when things get difficult. It's about having the resilience to bounce back from setbacks and the tenacity to keep pushing forward, even when you feel like giving up. Angela Duckworth, a leading researcher on grit, has shown that grit is a stronger predictor of success than talent or IQ. In other words, someone with less natural ability but more grit is likely to outperform someone with more talent but less perseverance. This is because grit allows individuals to maximize their potential, to develop their skills through deliberate practice, and to overcome the inevitable obstacles that stand in their way. Grit is composed of several key elements. Passion. Passion is the fuel that drives your perseverance. It's about having a deep and abiding interest in something that motivates you and gives your life meaning. When you're passionate about something, you're more likely to put in the effort required to succeed, even when it's challenging. Perseverance. Perseverance is the ability to keep going even when things get tough. It's about having the resilience to bounce back from setbacks and the determination to keep pushing forward, even when you feel like giving up. Resilience. Resilience is a capacity to recover quickly from difficulties. It's about being able to adapt to change, to learn from your mistakes, and to emerge stronger from adversity. Long-term focus. Grit is about having a long-term perspective. It's about being able to delay gratification and focus on your long-term goals, even when you're faced with immediate temptations or distractions. Here are some strategies for cultivating grit. Find your passion. What are you deeply interested in? What activities make you feel energized and engaged? Exploring your interests and finding something you're truly passionate about is the first step toward building grit. Practice deliberately. Once you've identified your passion, it's time to put in the work. Deliberate practice involves focused effort aimed at improving specific skills. It's about pushing yourself outside your comfort zone and consistently seeking feedback. Embrace struggle. Struggle is an inevitable part of the learning process. Don't shy away from challenges. Embrace them as opportunities for growth. Remember that every time you overcome a challenge, you become a little bit stronger. Develop a growth mindset. As we discussed in Chapter 4, a growth mindset is the belief that your abilities can be developed through hard work and dedication. This belief is essential for cultivating grit. When you believe that you can improve, you're more likely to persevere in the face of challenges. Cultivate resilience. Resilience is a skill that can be developed over time. As we discussed in Chapter 6, practicing mindfulness, self-compassion, and positive self-talk can help you build your resilience. Find a mentor or role model. Surrounding yourself with people who embody grit can be a powerful motivator. Find a mentor or role model who has demonstrated perseverance and resilience in their own lives. Set realistic goals. While it's important to have long-term goals, it's also important to break them down into smaller, more manageable steps. This will help you stay motivated and track your progress. Celebrate small victories. Don't forget to celebrate your accomplishments, no matter how small. This will help you stay motivated and reinforce your belief in your ability to succeed. Grit is not something you're born with. It's a quality that you can cultivate over time. By finding your passion, practicing deliberately, embracing struggle, and cultivating resilience, you can develop the grit you need to achieve your goals and turn your failures into superpowers. Chapter 9. From Setback to Strength. Transforming failure into an advantage. We've discussed the importance of learning from failure, developing emotional resilience, and cultivating grit. But now, it's time to take it a step further. This chapter explores how to not only learn from failure, but to actively transform it into a unique advantage. It's about turning adversity into a catalyst for growth, using setbacks as fuel for achieving even greater success. This is where the true alchemy of failure takes place, where we transmute lead into gold, turning our stumbling blocks into stepping stones. Many successful individuals have used their failures as springboards for extraordinary achievements. They haven't just bounced back from setbacks. They've used those experiences to develop unique strengths, insights, and perspectives that have propelled them forward. Their failures haven't defined them. They've refined them. Consider the story of Sarah Blakely, the founder of Spanx. Before her massive success, Blakely faced numerous rejections and setbacks. She was told her idea for shapewear was crazy, and she was even laughed out of a manufacturing facility. But instead of letting these rejections discourage her, she used them as motivation. She learned from every setback, refined her product, and ultimately built a billion-dollar empire. Her failures weren't roadblocks. They were detours that led her to an even greater destination. What sets these individuals apart is their ability to reframe their failures, not as defeats, but as opportunities for growth and development. They see setbacks not as signs of weakness, but as evidence of their willingness to take risks and push boundaries. They understand that failure is not the opposite of success. It's a crucial ingredient. Here are some strategies for turning setbacks into strengths. Identify your unique advantage. What did you learn from your failure that others might not know? What insights did you gain that can give you a competitive edge? Often, our greatest strengths are forged in the fires of adversity. Your unique advantage might be a deeper understanding of your industry, a greater appreciation for the challenges your customers face, or a more refined approach to problem solving. Develop a niche. Sometimes, a failure can lead you to discover a niche market or a unique area of expertise. Perhaps a product launch failed, but you learned something valuable about a specific customer segment that you hadn't considered before. This insight could lead you to develop a new product or service that caters to that niche, giving you a distinct advantage. Build resilience. Every time you overcome a setback, you become more resilient. You develop the mental toughness and emotional fortitude to handle future challenges. This resilience becomes a strength in itself, allowing you to take on bigger risks and pursue more ambitious goals. Refine your approach. Failure provides invaluable feedback on what's not working. Use this feedback to refine your approach, whether it's your business strategy, your creative process, or your personal relationships. Each failure is an opportunity to iterate, experiment, and improve. Develop empathy. Experiencing failure can make you more empathetic to the struggles of others. This empathy can be a powerful asset in business, allowing you to connect with your customers on a deeper level and build stronger relationships. Become a problem solver. Overcoming setbacks requires problem-solving skills. Every time you face a challenge, You have the opportunity to hone these skills. The more you practice, the better you become at finding creative solutions to difficult problems. Build character. The way you respond to failure says a lot about your character. Do you give up easily, or do you persevere in the face of adversity? Do you blame others, or do you take responsibility for your actions? By facing your failures with courage and integrity, you build character and earn the respect of others. Turning failure into a superpower is not about magically transforming a negative experience into a positive one. It's about actively using your setbacks as fuel for growth, developing unique strengths, and refining your approach. It's about recognizing that failure is not the end of the road, but rather a bend in the path, an opportunity to learn, adapt, and emerge stronger than before. In the following chapters, we will explore how this process fuels innovation, encourages risk-taking, and ultimately helps you discover your true purpose. Chapter 10. Innovation through Iteration. The Power of Experimentation and Failure. Innovation is the lifeblood of progress. Whether it's developing a groundbreaking technology, creating a new work of art, or simply finding a better way to solve a problem, innovation drives us forward. And at the heart of innovation lies failure. This chapter explores the crucial role of failure in the innovation process, demonstrating how experimentation, even when it leads to setbacks, is essential for generating new ideas and achieving breakthroughs. Innovation is rarely a linear process. It's a messy, iterative journey filled with trial and error. Think of Thomas Edison and the light bulb. He didn't just stumble upon the perfect filament on his first try. He experimented with thousands of different materials before finally finding the right one. His failures weren't setbacks. They were data points, informing his next experiment and bringing him closer to his goal. Edison famously said, "I have not failed. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work." This mindset, this willingness to embrace failure as a part of the process, is essential for innovation. The power of experimentation lies in its ability to generate new knowledge. When you try something new, you don't know for sure what will happen. You may succeed or you may fail. But regardless of the outcome, you learn something valuable. You gain insights into what works and what doesn't, which you can use to refine your approach and try again. Innovation through iteration involves a cycle of ideation, generating new ideas and possibilities; prototyping, creating a tangible representation of your idea; testing, evaluating your prototype and gathering feedback; iteration, refining your prototype based on the feedback. This cycle is repeated over and over again, with each iteration bringing you closer to a successful innovation. Failure is an integral part of this process. It's not something to be feared or avoided, but rather a valuable source of information. Here are some strategies for fostering innovation through experimentation and failure. Create a culture of psychological safety. For innovation to flourish, it's essential to create an environment where people feel safe to take risks and experiment without fear of judgment or punishment. People need to know that it's okay to make mistakes, that failure is seen as a learning opportunity rather than a sign of incompetence. Embrace experimentation. Encourage experimentation and exploration. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if they seem unconventional or risky. The most innovative ideas often come from thinking outside the box. Fail fast, learn faster. The faster you can identify and correct your mistakes, the faster you can move forward. Don't be afraid to fail, but when you do fail, learn from it quickly and move on. Iterate relentlessly. Innovation is a process of continuous improvement. Don't be satisfied with your first attempt. Keep iterating, refining, and improving your ideas until you achieve a breakthrough. Seek feedback. Gather feedback from a variety of sources, including customers, colleagues, and mentors. Feedback can help you identify blind spots and areas for improvement. Learn from others' failures. Don't just focus on your own failures. Learn from the failures of others as well. Study case studies of successful innovations and analyze the setbacks that were overcome along the way. Celebrate both successes and failures. Recognize and celebrate both successes and failures. This reinforces the idea that failure is a part of the learning process and encourages people to take risks. Innovation is not about avoiding failure. It's about using failure as a catalyst for growth and discovery. By embracing experimentation, learning from setbacks, and iterating relentlessly, you can unlock the power of failure and generate groundbreaking innovations that change the world. In the next chapter, we'll discuss the importance of risk-taking and courage in the pursuit of innovation and success. Chapter 11. Risk-taking and courage. Embracing the possibility of failure. Innovation, growth, and true success rarely come from playing it safe. They demand a willingness to step outside your comfort zone, to venture into uncharted territory, and to embrace the possibility of failure. This chapter explores the essential connection between risk-taking, courage, and the transformative power of failure. It's about understanding that the greatest rewards often lie on the other side of fear, and that true courage is not the absence of fear, but the willingness to act despite it. We often admire those who seem fearless, those who boldly pursue their dreams without hesitation. But the truth is, everyone experiences fear. Even the most successful entrepreneurs, artists, and athletes feel fear. The difference is that they don't let fear paralyze them. They acknowledge it, understand it, and then choose to act anyway. This is what courage is all about. Risk-taking is an inherent part of the human experience. From our ancestors venturing out to explore new lands to entrepreneurs starting new businesses, risk-taking has always been a driving force behind progress. But taking risks can be scary. It involves uncertainty, vulnerability, and the possibility of failure. This is why courage is so essential. Courage is not about being reckless or impulsive. It's about making calculated risks, weighing the potential rewards against the potential costs, and then acting with conviction. It's about having the self-belief to trust your instincts and the resilience to bounce back from setbacks. Here are some strategies for cultivating courage and embracing risk-taking. Start small. You don't have to make huge, life-altering risks right away. Start with smaller, more manageable risks that will help you build your confidence. Perhaps it's speaking up in a meeting, trying a new hobby, or starting a small side project. Each small risk you take will make it easier to take bigger risks in the future. Reframe your fear. Instead of viewing fear as a threat, try viewing it as a signal that you're about to do something worthwhile. Fear can be a sign that you're pushing yourself outside your comfort zone, which is where growth happens. Focus on the potential rewards. When you're considering taking a risk, don't just focus on the potential downsides. Also, focus on the potential rewards. What could you gain if you succeed? What opportunities could open up? Visualizing the positive outcomes can help you overcome your fear. Accept vulnerability. Taking risks means making yourself vulnerable to criticism, rejection, and failure. But vulnerability is not a weakness. It's a strength. It takes courage to put yourself out there, to expose your ideas and your work to the world. Learn from your mistakes. Not every risk will pay off. You will inevitably make mistakes along the way. But instead of dwelling on your failures, learn from them. Analyze what went wrong and use that knowledge to inform your future decisions. Build your support system. Surround yourself with people who encourage you to take risks and support you when you face setbacks. Having a strong support system can make it easier to overcome your fear and take the leap. Develop self-compassion. Be kind to yourself, especially when you make mistakes. Remember that everyone fails from time to time. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding that you would offer a friend who is struggling. Remember your why. Why are you taking this risk? What are you hoping to achieve? Keeping your why in mind can help you stay motivated and focused, even when you're facing challenges. Risk-taking and courage are not just about achieving external success. They're also about personal growth and self-discovery. Every time you step outside your comfort zone, you learn something new about yourself. You discover your strengths, your resilience, and your capacity for growth. Embracing the possibility of failure is not about being reckless. It's about living a life of purpose, passion, and fulfillment. It's about daring to dream big and having the courage to pursue those dreams, even when the path ahead is uncertain. Chapter 12. Living a Life of Purpose. Using Failure as a Compass. Failure can be a painful experience, but it can also be a powerful catalyst for self-discovery. It can force us to confront our weaknesses, challenge our assumptions, and ultimately lead us to a deeper understanding of ourselves and our purpose. This chapter explores a profound connection between failure and purpose, demonstrating how setbacks can serve as a compass, guiding us toward a more meaningful and fulfilling life. Many people go through life without ever truly discovering their purpose. They drift from one job to another, one relationship to another, never quite feeling like they're on the right path. But failure can be a wake-up call, a jarring reminder that we're not living in alignment with our values and our true selves. When we experience a significant setback, it can force us to ask ourselves some tough questions. What am I truly passionate about? What do I value most in life? What kind of impact do I want to make on the world? These questions can be uncomfortable, but they're essential for uncovering our purpose. Failure can also reveal what we don't want. It can help us clarify our values by showing us what we're not willing to tolerate. Perhaps a job loss reveals that we value work-life balance more than a high salary. Or perhaps a relationship breakdown shows us that we need more emotional intimacy in our lives. These insights, gleaned from failure, can be invaluable in shaping our future choices. Furthermore, failure can be a powerful motivator. It can ignite a fire within us, a desire to prove ourselves and to overcome the challenges we faced. This drive can propel us forward, pushing us to pursue our goals with renewed passion and determination. Here are some strategies for using failure as a compass to guide you toward your purpose. Reflect on your experiences. Take some time to reflect on your past failures. What did you learn from these experiences? What do they reveal about your values, your passions, and your strengths? Identify your values. What is truly important to you? What principles do you live by? Clarifying your values is essential for making decisions that are aligned with your true self. Explore your passions. What activities make you feel energized and engaged? What are you naturally curious about? Exploring your passions can lead you to discover your purpose. Connect with your why. Why do you want to achieve your goals? What impact do you want to make on the world? Connecting with your why can provide you with the motivation and resilience you need to overcome challenges. Experiment and iterate. Finding your purpose is often a process of experimentation. Try different things, explore different paths, and see what resonates with you. Don't be afraid to make mistakes along the way. Embrace discomfort. Stepping outside your comfort zone can be scary, but it's often necessary for discovering your purpose. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if they make you feel uncomfortable. Seek guidance. Talk to mentors, coaches, or therapists who can help you explore your values, passions, and goals. Sometimes, having an outside perspective can be invaluable. Be patient. Discovering your purpose is a journey, not a destination. It takes time, self-reflection, and a willingness to learn and grow. Be patient with yourself and trust the process. Failure is not a sign that you're on the wrong path. It's often a sign that you're about to discover a new one. By embracing failure as a learning opportunity and using it as a compass, you can navigate the twists and turns of life and ultimately find your way to a more purposeful and fulfilling existence. In the final section of this book, we will explore how to sustain your superpower, cultivate a growth mindset, build a support system, and embrace the future of failure. Chapter 13. The Growth Mindset in Action. Cultivating Continuous Improvement. We've discussed the power of a growth mindset in reframing failure and fostering learning. But simply understanding the concept is not enough. Cultivating a growth mindset is an ongoing process, a continuous commitment to learning, growth, and self-improvement. This chapter will explore how to put the growth mindset into action, providing practical strategies for maintaining it over time and reaping its transformative benefits. A growth mindset is not a switch you can flip on and off. It's a way of thinking, a set of beliefs about yourself and the world that you cultivate through consistent effort. It's about embracing challenges, viewing effort as a path to mastery, and seeing failure as an opportunity to learn and grow. One of the biggest challenges in maintaining a growth mindset is the tendency to slip back into old patterns of thinking. We're all susceptible to self-doubt, negative self-talk, and the fear of failure. That's why it's so important to have strategies in place to reinforce your growth mindset and keep it top of mind. Here are some practical strategies for cultivating continuous improvement through a growth mindset. Practice self-awareness. Pay attention to your thoughts and feelings. When you notice yourself slipping into a fixed mindset, challenge those thoughts and reframe them in a more growth-oriented way. For example, if you find yourself thinking, "I'm not good at this," try reframing it as, "I'm not good at this yet." Embrace challenges. Seek out challenges that push you outside your comfort zone. Don't be afraid to try new things, even if you're not sure you'll succeed. Remember that growth happens outside your comfort zone. View effort as the path to mastery. Don't shy away from hard work. Embrace it as an opportunity to develop your skills and achieve your goals. The more effort you put in, the more you'll learn and grow. Learn from criticism. Don't take criticism personally. View it as valuable feedback that can help you improve. Be open to hearing what others have to say, even if it's not what you want to hear. Celebrate small victories. Acknowledge and celebrate your progress, no matter how small. This will help you stay motivated and reinforce your belief in your ability to grow and improve. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. The people you spend time with can have a significant impact on your mindset. Surround yourself with people who are growth-oriented, who encourage you to take risks and pursue your goals. Use positive affirmations. Affirmations are positive statements that you repeat to yourself regularly. They can help you reprogram your subconscious mind and reinforce your growth mindset. For example, you might say to yourself, "I am capable of learning and growing," or "I embrace challenges as opportunities for growth." Visualize success. Visualization is a technique that involves creating a mental image of yourself achieving your goals. This can help you build your confidence and stay motivated. Imagine yourself overcoming challenges and achieving success. Practice gratitude. Taking time to appreciate the good things in your life, including your progress and your abilities, can reinforce a positive and growth-oriented outlook. Be patient and persistent. Cultivating a growth mindset is a lifelong journey. Don't get discouraged if you slip back into old patterns of thinking from time to time. Just keep practicing, keep learning, and keep growing. The growth mindset is not a magic bullet, but it is a powerful tool for achieving your goals and living a more fulfilling life. By consistently practicing the strategies outlined in this chapter, you can cultivate a growth mindset that will empower you to embrace challenges, learn from failures, and continuously improve. This ongoing commitment to growth and learning is what will truly allow you to unlock your full potential and transform setbacks into superpowers. Chapter 14. Building a Support System. The Power of Community and Mentorship. The journey of turning failure into a superpower is not one you have to take alone. While self-reflection, resilience, and grit are essential, the power of a strong support system cannot be overstated. This chapter explores the crucial role of community and mentorship in navigating setbacks, fostering growth, and achieving your full potential. It's about recognizing that we are stronger together, and that seeking support is a sign of strength, not weakness. Humans are social creatures. We thrive in communities where we feel connected, supported, and understood. When we face challenges, having a network of people who believe in us, who offer encouragement and guidance, can make all the difference. A strong support system can provide us with the emotional resilience we need to bounce back from setbacks, the perspective we need to see our situations clearly, and the motivation we need to keep pushing forward. Mentorship, in particular, can be incredibly valuable. A mentor is someone who has walked a similar path to you, someone who has experience and wisdom to share. They can offer guidance, support, and constructive criticism, helping you navigate the challenges of your journey and avoid common pitfalls. A mentor can also serve as a role model, demonstrating what's possible and inspiring you to reach for your full potential. Here are some strategies for building a strong support system. Identify your needs. What kind of support do you need? Do you need emotional support, practical advice, or mentorship? Clarifying your needs will help you identify the types of people you want to have in your support system. Reach out to others. Don't be afraid to reach out to people you admire or trust. Start by building genuine connections. Invite someone for coffee, attend industry events, or join online communities related to your field. Be reciprocal. Building a support system is a two-way street. Offer your support to others as well. Be a good listener. Offer encouragement and share your own experiences. Join a community. Find a community of like-minded individuals who share your interests and goals. This could be a professional organization, a networking group, or an online forum. Being part of a community can provide you with a sense of belonging and support. Seek mentorship. Actively seek out mentors who can provide you with guidance and support. Look for people who have experience in your field and who are willing to share their wisdom. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Be open to feedback. Be open to receiving feedback from your support system, even if it's not always easy to hear. Constructive criticism can be invaluable for your growth and development. Express gratitude. Show appreciation for the support you receive from others. A simple thank you can go a long way in strengthening your relationships. Nurture your relationships. Building a strong support system takes time and effort. Nurture your relationships by staying in touch, offering your support, and showing genuine interest in others' lives. Don't be afraid to ask for help. Everyone needs help from time to time. Don't be afraid to ask for help when you need it. Your support system is there for you. Be a supportive friend. Be the kind of friend you would want to have. Offer your support, encouragement, and understanding to others. Building a strong support system is an investment in your future. It's about creating a network of people who believe in you, who challenge you to grow, and who celebrate your successes. By surrounding yourself with a supportive community and seeking mentorship, you can navigate the challenges of life with greater ease and achieve your full potential. Remember, you are not alone on this journey. Embrace the power of community and mentorship, and you'll be amazed at what you can achieve. Chapter 15. The Future of Failure. Embracing Uncertainty and Change. The world is changing at an unprecedented pace. Technological advancements, globalization, and shifting societal norms are creating a landscape of constant flux and uncertainty. In this dynamic environment, the ability to navigate failure, to adapt to change, and to learn continuously is more critical than ever. This chapter looks ahead at the evolving nature of failure, emphasizing the importance of embracing uncertainty and cultivating lifelong learning to thrive in the future. The traditional view of failure as something to be avoided is becoming increasingly obsolete. In a world where disruption is the norm, failure is not just a possibility, it's a probability. New technologies emerge, markets shift, and business models become outdated practically overnight. In this context, the ability to experiment, to iterate, and to learn from mistakes is not just an advantage. It's a necessity. The future of failure is not about eliminating it altogether. That's an impossible task. Instead, it's about changing our relationship with it. It's about viewing failure not as a final destination, but as a temporary detour on the road to success. It's about developing the resilience and adaptability to bounce back from setbacks quickly and emerge stronger than before. One of the key skills for navigating the future of failure is adaptability. This involves being able to adjust to changing circumstances, to learn new skills, and to embrace new ways of thinking. It's about being flexible and open-minded, willing to adapt your approach as needed. Another essential skill is lifelong learning. The rapid pace of change means that what you know today may be obsolete tomorrow. To stay relevant, you need to be committed to continuous learning, constantly seeking new knowledge and developing new skills. Here are some strategies for embracing uncertainty and change and preparing for the future of failure. Cultivate curiosity. A curious mind is more open to new ideas and new possibilities. Foster your curiosity by asking questions, exploring new fields, and seeking out new experiences. Embrace change. Change can be uncomfortable, but it's also inevitable. Instead of resisting change, embrace it as an opportunity for growth and learning. Develop a growth mindset. As we've discussed throughout this book, a growth mindset is essential for navigating failure and adapting to change. Believe in your ability to learn and grow, and you'll be more likely to embrace challenges and persevere through setbacks. Be a lifelong learner. Commit to continuous learning. Read books, take courses, attend workshops, and seek out new experiences. The more you learn, the more adaptable you'll become. Network with others. Connect with people from diverse backgrounds and different fields. Learning from others' experiences and perspectives can broaden your understanding of the world and make you more adaptable. Be agile. Agility is the ability to adapt quickly and effectively to changing circumstances. Develop your agility by practicing flexibility, embracing experimentation, and being open to new ideas. Focus on your strengths. Identify your core strengths and focus on developing them further. These strengths will provide you with a solid foundation for navigating change and overcoming challenges. Be resilient. Resilience is the ability to bounce back from setbacks. Cultivate your resilience by practicing mindfulness, self-compassion, and positive self-talk. Embrace uncertainty. The future is uncertain. Instead of fearing uncertainty, embrace it as an opportunity for creativity, innovation, and growth. The future of failure is not something to be feared. It's something to be embraced. By cultivating adaptability, lifelong learning, and a growth mindset, you can navigate the challenges of the future and turn setbacks into superpowers. The world is constantly evolving, and so should you. Embrace the uncertainty, embrace the change, and embrace the power of failure to learn, grow, and thrive in the years to come. Epilogue. Embrace your alchemy. We've journeyed through the landscape of failure, exploring its nature, its impact, and its transformative potential. We've debunked the myths, confronted the fear, and discovered the power of reframing setbacks as stepping stones. We've learned to analyze our failures, build emotional resilience, and cultivate the grit needed to persevere. We've seen how failure can fuel innovation, inspire risk-taking, and ultimately guide us toward a life of purpose. And we've explored the importance of continuous growth, community, and adaptability in navigating an ever-changing world. Now, it's your turn. You are equipped with the tools, the strategies, and the mindset to transform your relationship with failure. You have the power to turn your setbacks into superpowers. This is not just a theoretical concept. It's a practical, actionable approach to living a more fulfilling and successful life. Remember that failure is not an event. It's a process. It's a part of the journey, not the destination. It's an opportunity to learn, to grow, and to become stronger than you ever thought possible. Don't be afraid to stumble. Don't be afraid to fall. Embrace the stumbles, learn from the falls, and get back up wiser and more determined than before. The alchemy of failure is not about magically erasing the pain or pretending that setbacks don't matter. It's about acknowledging the pain, processing the emotions, and then choosing to move forward with purpose and resilience. It's about extracting the lessons from every experience, using those lessons to refine your approach, and ultimately, achieving your goals. This book is not the end of your journey. It's the beginning. The real work starts now. It's about putting these principles into practice, about consistently applying the strategies we've discussed, and about continuously striving to become the best version of yourself. The world needs your unique talents, your unique perspective, and your unique contribution. Don't let the fear of failure hold you back. Embrace the possibility of setbacks, learn from your mistakes, and keep pushing forward with courage and conviction. The alchemy is within you. Embrace it. Transform your failures into superpowers and create a life that is not only successful, but also deeply meaningful. The world is waiting to see what you're capable of. Go out there and show them.